Hello, this is Nightline and I'm Raymond Goh. News making the headlines. PM admits that the people are not happy with what Pakatan has been doing. And the General Operations Force, PGA, takes disciplinary action against 14 personnel over corruption probe. Thanks for joining us. Pakatan Harapan's defeat in the Tanjung Piai parliamentary by-election must be seen as a warning that the people were unhappy with the current state of affairs in the country. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said in the post-mortem done during the special PH Presidential Council meeting, each component party in the coalition had owned up to their faults and gave their assurance to act on them. Tun Dr. Mahathir said the party realizes that this by-election result is a warning to the PH that many of the things being done are not well received by the people.
Kita semua sedar bahawa keputusan yang buruk ini adalah sebagai satu amaran kepada parti kita bahawa banyak perkara-perkara yang kita lakukan ini tidak disenangi oleh rakyat, terutamanya berkenaan dengan cost of living dan macam-macam lainlah, termasuk tuduhan bahawa Parti Pakatan Harapan ini dikuasai sepenuhnya oleh DAP, iaitu Pandangan Orang Melayu, dan orang Cina pula berpendapat bahawa DAP ini dikuda oleh Dr. Mahathir daripada Parti Bersatu. Jadi nampak balance lah. Kedua-dua pihak tak puas hati. Kita tak boleh bagi puas hati semua orang.
Speaking in the press conference after chairing the meeting in Putrajaya on Saturday, the Prime Minister said that the Council had held a long meeting, but there was no finger-pointing and the members acknowledged their mistakes while promising to take steps to rectify the situation. However, he said he was unable to elaborate on the steps to be taken. In the meeting, which lasted almost 3 hours, Tun Dr. Mahathir said that there were cabinet ministers who admitted their mistakes, but have also made proposals for betterment. This, he said, includes government policies which were not well accepted by the people.
Masing-masing mengaku ada kesalahan daripada pihak mereka dan masing-masing juga telah dapat mencadangkan cara-cara mengatasinya. Itulah memang mesyuarat ini mengambil masa yang panjang kerana banyak idea yang dikemukakan dan banyak juga teguran-teguran terhadap rancangan-rancangan kerajaan yang diambil kira oleh menteri-menteri yang hadir.
Meanwhile, Tun Dr. Mahathir said no Pakatan Harapan top leadership disagreed to the possible cabinet reshuffle. The Prime Minister also said that he has not decided whether to include PKR President Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim in the new cabinet.
Well, they are not against it. They didn't say that, please don't reshuffle me.
But I didn't apply.
He didn't apply.
Last Thursday, Tun Dr. Mahathir hinted that a cabinet reshuffle was likely following the opposition's massive victory at the Tanjung Piai by-election recently. He also said that the reshuffle could be carried out before Malaysia hosts the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit next year.
Many other issues are taken into.
Meanwhile, Datuk Sri Anwar said the party is still solid with no internal disunity as propagandized by certain quarters. The Port Dickson MP was also confident that at least 90% of the leadership and grassroots were loyal to the party's central leadership.
Nak ada 100%. Siapa yang boleh dapat 100% ni? Putin? Trump? Tak ada di dunia ni yang dapat 100%. Di cabang pun kita dapat 100%. Tapi Setakat ini parti kita solid, sekurang-kurangnya 90% ketua cabang bersama pimpinan parti.
He was speaking at the Sarawak PKR Convention in Miri, which was attended by about 1,200 state and national delegates. Sarawak PKR Chairman Baru Bian, however, was visibly missing. Later, Datuk Sri Anwar told reporters that Baru Bian's position as the Sarawak PKR chief will be discussed during the Central Leadership Council meeting on Sunday. He also said that he has no problem with Baru Bian as the state chief, as long as the latter has the support of the majority. The General Operations Force, PGA, has taken disciplinary action against 14 of its personnel found to be involved in corrupt activities at the Perlis-Thai border. PGA Northern Brigade Commander SAC Abdul Ghani Muhammad G said the disciplinary action taken include sacking and demotion.
Kita telah pun mengambil tindakan sebenarnya, dan bagi anggota yang telah kita buang kerja, yang gambar dalam video tu 8 orang kita buang kerja, dijatuhkan hukuman buang kerja, 5 orang turun pangkat, 1 diambil lain-lain tindakan pada. So kita telah terima laporan tindakan yang telah dijatuhkan pada anggota-anggota yang terlibat. Tindakan telah diambil dan mereka juga pun telah meninggalkan pasukan pada 2 minggu yang lepas.
Last month, MACC revealed a serious breach of security at the border believed to be due to corruption involving a number of border security personnel. According to the anti-graft agency, smuggling activities are rampant along the border due to corruption among some of the enforcement personnel. Meanwhile, Abdul Ghani said that PGA had seized 7.5 tons of ketum leaves worth 1.1 million ringgit during Op Wawasan. The 2nd Battalion PGA also arrested 51 individuals, including 26 foreigners, for various offences. The Women, Family and Community Development Ministry is considering whether to allow the use of second-hand child car seats, or CRS, especially to reduce the burden on families who could not afford it. Its Deputy Minister Hannah Yeoh said the proposal is being looked into, while calling on the participation of manufacturers to achieve this goal.
Kementerian Pengangkutan telah pun umumkan mereka akan ada grace period, 6 bulan, dan bawah Kementerian Pembangunan Wanita, Keluarga dan Masyarakat, kita sedang melihat bagaimana kita boleh recycle car seat yang lama, kerana ada ramai ahli keluarga yang sudah beli tetapi anak dah besar, car seat itu di rumah.
This was following the government's announcement of enforcing the use of CRS in vehicles effective January 1st next year. Yeoh added that the ministry will also study the long-term measures of the CRS requirement for families who have many children. Breast cancer cases in the country are at an alarming rate, as 31.1 in every 100,000 people in the country are suffering from the #1 killer disease of women. Health Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad said the fight against breast cancer requires a concerted effort, not only from the government but many parties. Datuk Sri Dr. Zulkifli said the government is committed in dealing with breast cancer cases and has allocated 216.9 million ringgit for cancer treatment. He added corporate sectors, business entities, non-governmental organizations and the community must take part actively in the fight against breast cancer among women.
Kalau dalam konteks Malaysia, purata adalah seperti mana yang saya tegaskan tadi, 31.1 ya, cases atau incidents pada setiap 100,000 penduduk, ataupun per 100,000 population there's an incident of 31.1 ya. Dan seperti mana yang telah saya sebutkan tadi, malangnya 43% dikesani atau diagnose pada tahap yang lewat, bermaksud tahap 3 dan 4.
He said this after launching the third phase of the Etika Free Mammogram program in collaboration with the National Cancer Society Malaysia on Saturday. The program, which is being carried out in selected hospitals in Peninsular Malaysia with an allocation of 2 million ringgit, provides 6,000 free breast cancer screenings for underprivileged women aged 40 and above. On another issue, Datuk Sri Dr. Zulkifli said a decision on whether immunization vaccination will be made compulsory in Malaysia will be announced soon. He said the steering committee has almost completed its study on the proposal and will present the findings to the ministry.
Kita telah pun menubuhkan jawatankuasa itu dan saya kira dapatan itu akan dibentangkan kepada saya dan dalam waktu terdekat saya akan membuat pengumuman tentang perkara tersebut. Saya kira sudah it's already almost very close dah. Kita akan not make announcement. Jadi insyaallah dalam waktu terdekat ataupun conclusion ataupun rekomendasi dan cadangan itu akan dapat kita umumkan.
Datuk Sri Dr. Zulkifli said the findings will be discussed at a pre-cabinet meeting before being raised to cabinet. The steering committee had sought views from various parties, including government agencies, the private sector and non-governmental agencies, NGOs, in conducting its study of the proposal. Government introduces eSports blueprint. The details when we return. Welcome back. Now it's time for Nightline's eSports segment with the latest gaming news. The Youth and Sports Ministry has finally launched the much-anticipated eSports Development Strategic Plan, also known as the eSports Blueprint. This is in line with the government's efforts to ensure that there is a more inclusive and comprehensive direction in shaping the Malaysian eSports industry. Wan Azul Islam has the details.
The eSports Strategic Development Plan, which will start next year, will ensure the development of eSports to be enjoyed at all levels nationwide. The government will also ensure that the allocation of 20 million ringgit from Budget 2020 towards the development of eSports will be used wisely. Among the key initiatives of the blueprint will be to organise a Malaysian league system for eSports that will help produce more competitive athletes at the international level.
Dan kita nak kembangkan industri e-sport bersama dengan sukan e-sport ini. So we have our National E-Sports League yang buat pertama kali kita nak lakukan. Kita nak pastikan perkembangan e-sports dapat dirasai dalam semua peringkat, bukan saja di kawasan bandar atau Kelang Valley, tetapi di seluruh Malaysia. Kita tak boleh lupakan Sabah dan Sarawak, kita tak boleh lupakan kawasan luar bandar.
The 5-year strategic plan was in line with the government's efforts to ensure that eSports grows throughout the country. Last year, Malaysia received recognition as one of the leading countries in Southeast Asia capable of attracting opportunities for eSports industries. This was following the successful organising of several internationally acclaimed tournaments, including the Dota 2 KL Major and recently the M1 Mobile Legends World Championship.
Through this strategic plan initiated by this KBS, we hope we can bring in more quality and more world-class tournament to Malaysia.
I'm very pleased that the blueprint has included elements of law. There were issues about regulation, governance. I think that's a good way forward. If we are going to do this project well for the next 5 years, one of the most crucial elements other than the players and the industry, of course, is law.
One of the things that I did not get for 15 years that I've been gaming, that is the players' rights and people to look upon the athletes' rights so that they will be taken care of, and whatever we do as an old passion can turn into a career in the future.
The eSports Development Strategic Plan, introduced by the Youth and Sports Ministry, Syed Sadiq Syed Abdul Rahman. 5 years in the works, 2020 to 2025, where it will focus on 5 key strategies, including key industry players, professional players, investors, as well as government agencies. Now, let's hope this blueprint helps move forward esports in Malaysia. Let's go!
Welcome to the eSports segment with me, Wan Izul Islam. It is finally here. The grand finals for Kejornan Isukan Campus Cake Semester 2 for the year 2019 happening here at Curve Mutiara Damansara. A total of 32 teams have gathered here at this shopping complex to verse each other in Mobile Legends as well as PUBG Mobile to claim that 180,000 ringgit prize pool as well as a scholarship worth 50,000 ringgit. All up for grabs in those two games. Now let's take a look at what their expectations are for this grand finals happening here.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good evening. My name is Muhammad Norasin Shazli Bezavi, representative from Team Light X Friends from IIUM Kuantan campus. And basically our expectation for this grand final Expects Cake Season 2 is we want the crowd and also the players to be very hyped, especially for the matches that will be held here.
Alright, my name is Adlan and I'm from Team Pyro and we're coming from Polytechnic Shah Alam. So our expectation for tomorrow grand final, hopefully that we will manage to get to the final first. Then hopefully that the mall will be full crowd people cheering for us, and then we can finally manage to win the grand final Expect Cake.
We're expecting tomorrow to be huge because we're having a lot more players coming. That today, in the last few days, we have 200 players from all over the countries, from all over campuses around Malaysia, coming in to compete. We're really excited because this is an opportunity for all the players to experience a big tournament and an opportunity for crowd also to see an eSports firsthand in the Curve Mutiara Damansara.
That was Nicholas Agao, of course, the general manager for Media Prima Digital, who are hosting this tournament, Cake Semester 2, for the year 2019. So many activities here, including Cake Arcade, Cake Trial, where public and also visitors for the tournament can win amazing prizes. Another interesting thing, we've got, of course, the lucky draw for the Honda Jazz Hybrid, the first ever tournament, esports tournament here in Malaysia that's putting up a car for a lucky draw prize. Players from all around Malaysia have gathered here in Kuala Lumpur for the grand finals, and this is their time to shine, to participate in a professional esports tournament with a professional crowd and a professional caster in-game commentating their moves on the screen. Now let's hope you guys enjoyed that, and we'll see you again tomorrow for the finals and the prize giving ceremony for Kejornan Isukan Campus Semester 2 2019. Catch you again later.
Up next, car bomb kills at least 9 in northern Syria town. Stay tuned. Onto the foreign front now. A car bomb attack struck a Turkish-held border town in northern Syria, killing at least 10 people and wounding 22 others on Saturday. According to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights Monitoring Group, the blast took place in an industrial area of the Tal Abyad district. It is understood that the bomb-laden vehicle was parked on a busy main street and was detonated by remote control. The observatory added that 2 children were among those killed, and the death toll could rise as several of the wounded were in critical condition. There was no immediate claim of responsibility for the bombing, but authorities said the explosion bears all the hallmarks of the YPG terrorist organization. The Turkish Defense Ministry, however, blamed the Syrian Kurdish fighters for the attack. Over in Chile, the death toll from violent unrest rose to 23 on Saturday as the country entered its 5th week of social unrest, despite an agreement on a political roadmap that will see the government draft a new constitution. According to local officials, the latest casualty was reported to be that of a 13-year-old boy who was run over by a van during a protest in Arica, which is 2,100 kilometers north of the capital of Santiago, where weekly rallies took place since the social upheaval broke out. The South American nation has been protesting since October 18th against widespread social and economic inequality and a deeply entrenched political elite that come from a very small number of wealthy Chilean families. This is the worst crisis that Chile has faced, with over 2,000 injuries reported and around 280 have been seriously injured in the eye by shotgun pellets. Hong Kong's pro-democracy protest groups called on Saturday for citizens not to disrupt district council elections on Sunday, in which some parties hope to send a message to the city's Beijing-backed government. This was after the authorities have threatened to suspend voting if there is serious disruption at the polling stations. The elections, which take place every 4 years, will allow voters to directly elect district council members, and a record of 4.1 million people in the city are registered to vote, with more than 1,000 candidates running for all 452 district council seats, which for the first time are being contested. Currently, with pro-Beijing parties holding the majority of these seats, the pro-democracy campaigners will surely be hoping to increase their representation on the council, which traditionally has some influence in choosing the city's chief executive. And that's it for Nightline this time around. Now, over in France, famous French tightrope walker Nathan Paulin defies gravity once again as he delicately treads a slack line 150 meters above ground, which was stretched 510 meters between two towers in the business district of La Défense near Paris as part of a charity event. Let's take a look at this, and I'm Raymond Goh. Thank you for tuning in. Take care.